Thank you, Madam Chair and members of the committee. My name is Jamie Budnick, and I'm here today on behalf of Rhode Island NOW, which is the Rhode Island chapter of the National Organization for Women. And we're here today to speak in support of Senate Bill 274, the Reproductive Healthcare Act. Rhode Island NOW works for economic and reproductive justice for all Rhode Island women. We recognize that a Senate hearing on legislation to protect reproductive freedom is itself a historic moment, and we thank our chair, Madam Lynch-Prada, for your leadership. Ensuring access to abortion remains safe and legal in Rhode Island, no matter what might happen nationally, is vital to equity here. Rhode Island NOW urges you to pass Senate Bill 274 because it would maintain the principles of Roe v. Wade, no more and no less. We cannot delay action on this critical bill. Reproductive rights are under attack, and we can't wait and do nothing under a volatile Trump administration. This is the time to resist extremist rhetoric that seeks to erode our democratic values and current federal laws. The time to pass this legislation is now. Following the election, many conservatives called the fear expressed by progressives hysteria. I found that very remarkable, and note that this word hysteria comes from the Greek word for uterus. Even today, we see that those hostile to women's equality and reproductive freedom use this term to belittle and silence those who fear and uncertainty is rational. Our fear is based on what we see around us every day and what we read in the news. The national news has reported rumors of more retirements on the U.S. Supreme Court, and we can't wait and see what might happen then. And in the last month, 10 Planned Parenthood health centers across the Midwest, especially in Iowa, were forced to close. This is only the beginning. Conservatives in Washington continue to push healthcare reform as their priority legislation, and we have every reason to expect further assaults on coverage and access for contraception and abortion. When we hear opposition to the Reproductive Healthcare Act today, as we heard before the House committee, we're not hearing engagement and debate about this specific bill. We're hearing debate about abortion generally and about science, religion, democracy, faith. Our opposition today would seek to undo our current protections, which have been law in America for decades. There is no reason to oppose the Reproductive Healthcare Act specifically unless we want to debate and undo those broader issues. The logic does not follow. If we support legal and safe access to abortion, then we must pass the Reproductive Healthcare Act. If we would not undo Roe v. Wade protections, if we support safe and legal access to abortion, then there's no reason not to pass this now. I want to read a very brief excerpt from our blue state's unanimously approved Democratic Party platform. In a section titled "A Matter of Choice," it states that Democrats stand behind the right of every woman to choose, consistent with Roe v. Wade, regardless of ability to pay, and we support a national law to protect that right. A woman's right to choose is a fundamental liberty. We do solemnly pledge to support and foster contraceptive research, family planning, and policies to support healthy childbearing and strong parenting skills. These policies will make abortion less necessary, not more difficult and dangerous. So again, many of our elected officials have pledged to support choice. Our ultimate goal in Rhode Island NOW is one that no doubt is shared by all Rhode Islanders: to keep our state a safe and hospitable place for women to live and work. This goal must be predicated on the protection of women's rights, which are human rights. This includes bodily autonomy. It is unethical, unlawful, and morally unconscionable to put the rights of a fetus above those of a pregnant person. Rhode Island NOW respectfully asks for your expressed support of women's rights by passing the Reproductive Healthcare Act. We thank you for your time and your consideration of this very critical legislation.